Yes, Ayo yo, ayo this on my own. Walk with me, talk with me. Don't you leave me all alone. Stand by me and stay with me, 'cause I can't do this on my own. I've been down and I've been out. I've seen things no one should see, but I knew one day, come what may, that I'd sing a song of hope. Said I've been down and I've been out, and I've seen things no one should see, but I knew one day, come what may, that I'll sing a song of hope. Walk with me, talk with me, Don't you leave me all alone. Stand by me, stay with me. I can't do this on my own.
Your times of joy have been too brief. The threat of death posed by weapons made you leave your own possessions. But do not sink, you need to float. In times of need, I'll be your boat. Let's stand together, you and me, address the needs of refugees.
Walk with me, talk with me. Don't you leave me all alone. Stand by me, pray with me. I can't do this on my own. Walk with me, talk with me. Don't you leave me all alone. Stand by me and pray with me. I can't do this on my own. I can't do this on my own. I need you. I need you. No. Stand, pray. No. I can't do this on my own. I can't do this on my own.
You are not alone. Nigeria stands with you. The women of this country stand with you. We're all in this thing together until it's over, and it will be over soon. God bless you. Don't you leave me all alone. Stand by me and pray with me. I can't do this on my own. Walk with me, talk with me. Don't you
leave me all alone. Stand by me and stay with me, 'cause I can't do this on my own. I've been down and I've been out. I've seen things no one should see, but I knew one day, come what may, that I'll sing a song of hope. Said I've been down and I've been out, and I've seen things no one should see, but I knew one day, come what may, that I'll sing a song of hope. Walk with me, talk with me, Don't you leave me all alone. Stand by me, stay with me. I can't do this on my own.
Your times of joy have been too brief. The threat of death posed by weapons made you leave your own possessions. But do not sink, you need to float. In times of need, I'll be your boat. Let's stand together, you and me, address the needs of refugees.
Walk with me, talk with me, don't you leave me all alone. Stand by me, pray with me. I can't do this on my own. Walk with me, talk with me, don't you leave me all alone. Stand by me and pray with me. I can't do this on my own. I can't do this on my own. I need you. I need you. No, 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 no. Stand, pray. No, 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 no. I can't do this on my own. I can't do this on my own.
You are not alone. Nigeria stands with you. The women of this country stand with you. We're all in this thing together until it's over, and it will be over soon. God bless you.
Wawaye, hey fundurun, wanna shots baby. Ayo yo, ayo yo, ayo. When you must live in a hand, so she calling no. Ayo yo, ayo. When you must live in a just of them, she hands no. Ayo yo, ayo. When we are watching all, so them she hands ayo yo. When we are civil, so them she hands. That costs a Watson.
yeah. Pushing the scissors, oh yeah, yeah.
Are you tired of going from dealership to dealership looking for that used car that perfectly fits both your lifestyle and your budget? Are you bored with the same old tactics, the same old styles, and the same old disappointments when you don't find exactly what you want? Are you frustrated because of bad credit or tired of being rejected of in-house financing? Are you tired of going from garage to garage for a car? How about that filthy old car that you used to drive? Are you done? Welcome to the new experience. Barico Auto Sales has sold and financed cars to over 50,000 people across the country. Our exclusive in-house financing model allows us to provide flexible options for all. Enjoy low rates, free pickup, and award-winning customer service. Reserve today. Barico Auto helps make car renting easy and seamless for all of our customers. Our financing options allow you to shop our vehicle inventory for the exact used car, truck, or van that best fits your needs. Car selection and customer satisfaction are of great importance to us. We provide the best mechanical repairs, and our services take just minutes. Detail your car with us and get out of that filthy old smell and into something sweet. We will even do your oil change at the lowest rate. And please do not forget that with Barico Auto Sale, you own and drive your car before you even have to pay us. So come on down and visit us and drive away with your new car.
Barico Autos, own and drive before you pay. 240-486-4664. www.mbaricoauto.com.
We are no fools on the hill. My people are no fools on the hill. You must let my people go, so we can roll from Cape to Cairo. You must free my people's hands. listen carefully. Chinese are ruling the Chinese land. Japan is ruled by Japanese. England is governed by Englishmen. America is governed by Americans. So Africa must be ruled by Africans. I wanna know who owns the land. We must rule from Cape to Cairo. We must rule our purpose land. I say, we want to know who owns the land. I want to know who owns the land. Aslan, hey, Papaslan, Papaslan, Papaslan. It must be free. Angola want to know who owns the land. Mozambique want to know who owns the land. Namibia want to know who owns the land. I say, Soweto want to know who owns the land. Zimbabwe want to know who owns the land. African freedom fighters want to know who owns the land. Papa's land. Now listen to the history. We've been here since creation. We've been here since creation. What else do I know? Since the time of sun and sand. Since the time of moon and stars. Since the time of air and sea. Since the time of men and things. We must run from Cape to Cairo. I stand, look through my purpose land. Purpose land. Oh! Okay now I want to talk to my Iradanila, oh, I will know. Yeah, Iradanila, oh, I will know. Now we are the crossroads. On the Pemo, London. Bill Sarova Daneta. On the Pemo, London. Opalimu Megagura Baba. Yeah, Opalimu Jasu Yaraka. Yeah, Opalimu Tizanya Vekoye. Omnige, omnige. Ojemelo dem na bogise. Ofeni mojemelo dem na bogiso. Ofeni mu meya gbera baba. Ofeni mu Jesu yaraka. Zanya vetonye, omnige, omnige, ojemelo dem na bogise, ofeni mojemelo dem na bogiso.
All right. Good evening, fellow Ambazonians, and welcome to the broadcast. My apologies for the long time to come to you. I am excited to be back with you today. I love to say good evening to all of you who have been waiting on ground zero. Some of you wanting to go to bed, some of you struggling to see whether your electricity is going to stay put to the end of the broadcast. Again, good evening to you. And I also want to welcome all Ambazonians in continental Africa, the USA, Canada, Europe, everywhere you happen to find yourself as an Ambazonian. I'd like to welcome you to this broadcast. It's a privilege always, as usual, to come to you with updates on our revolution. I have a few things I'm going to do here tonight. I will bring you a presentation, and then after the presentation, I have two guests. I was supposed to have three guests today. Unfortunately, one couldn't make it. I will have two guests, and we shall be discussing on the murders, the massacres, the genocide that French Cameroon soldiers perpetrated in Ngaba and in Tumbo in Ndu Ndonga Mantung County. We are going to look into that to get the current updates, because the last time I came here, we were talking about 21 people dead. The media has it all over the place, 27 people, but we know, ladies and gentlemen, there are over 35 dead in that incident. So we will bring you updates to that. We will also like to know what the Ndonga Mantung County or community is doing to help the situation. We will have them here, and I will not leave this broadcast without asking you to support the people of Ndonga Mantung, support the restoration forces up there in Ndonga Mantung. I believe if they were capable of arresting the situation before these savages of French Cameroon went and attacked these two villages, they could have done so. But in the aftermath of this event, we now know Ndonga Mantung is not well equipped to face these challenges. So, before the end of the program, I will be asking you, ladies and gentlemen, I will be asking you to support Ndonga Mantung County. I am hoping that I'll be able to have that donation information on the screen, in the course of the broadcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, normally 600-700 people. Let's do this very, very, very quick. I have a packed full event, a packed full broadcast that I'm bringing to you. So, please go ahead and hit your share button. Go ahead, hit your share button. Let us quickly make it up to 700 for me to come to you with the statement that I bring today. Hit your share button as you join, so that the moment we hit 700 people, I can come to you with the statement that I have to present, the monologue I have to do before we go into the interview conversation mode. All right. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, please, again, go ahead, hit your share button, This is a critical piece of monologue that I bring to you today. But before then, while you go ahead and hit your share button, there is this announcement I'd like to bring to you. Ambazonians in London are staging a huge rally, a 1 million man march rally. Of course, I'm very much aware we don't have 1 million Ambazonians living in London, but they have friends, they have sympathizers for the Ambazonian cause who live in London, all over England. So Ambazonians in England are putting together a huge rally, ladies and gentlemen, coming up on the March the 9th. And this will be in commemoration of the Commonwealth annual come together of heads of state. So if you live anywhere in England, it doesn't matter even if you are in Scotland, even in Ireland. I know Ireland is not part of the United Kingdom anymore, but if you live there in Wales, anywhere you find yourself and you are an Amazonian living there, please, these are some of the moments we show up to prove to the world that we are determined, we are resolved to take back our country. We cannot be seeing these kind of images, killings, massacres, burnings, and just remain comfortable in our neck of the woods. Please, let's leave our comfort zones and show up for rallies like this. I am challenging all of you in England to come out on March 9 for the rally at the Commonwealth. Again, the rally comes up on March the 9th, 2020, and it starts at 10 a.m. Starts at 10 a.m. Please, every Ambazonian, call somebody. Call somebody. Please do not say, oh, I'm working, I cannot make it. We have to sacrifice. None of us in the diaspora is sacrificing as much as our people on ground zero are. And we only do these rallies once in a while, and they mean a lot. They mean a lot. So please, you live in London, you live in anywhere in the United Kingdom, March the 9th at 10 a.m. is the rally at the Commonwealth Secretariat in London. So please, let's all turn out there and send a message to the Commonwealth that Cameroon is not supposed to be part of the Commonwealth. Cameroon became part of the Commonwealth because of the Southern Cameroons. But the Southern Cameroons has long left Cameroon. If anybody should be in the Commonwealth, it should be Cameroon. So please make it a date. Make it a date, March the 9th. March the 9th, ladies and gentlemen, a big rally, huge rally at the Commonwealth Secretariat in London. Please, and you have 700, please, so I can bring you the presentation. We have over 600, just a little under 100 to go. So please go ahead and hit your share button so I can come to you with that presentation. Now, another announcement or update. It is very important, and I shall be talking about this in the upcoming days. This is what is going on, ladies and gentlemen. If any of your relations or relative has been abducted by La République du Cameroun, and you go to Condenghe or you go to Sète and you cannot find them, know from today, they are dead. They are dead. Now, this is what is happening in Yaoundé. This is what is happening in Yaoundé. They go to the regions. They pick up Ambazonians, take them to Yaoundé. And when relations show up or lawyers show up to visit them, the gendarmes, as said, will say, no, they are not dead. They don't only end at that. They will, in fact, bring out the register of all the people they have in custody. They will bring it out and present to the lawyers, to the effect that they should see for themselves that the people they are looking for are not in their custody. Many people have died, ladies and gentlemen. Many Ambazonians have died in custody under these fraudulent circumstances. How do we know this? The lawyers have recently informed us through an experience they had. Many of you know that Field Marshal's wife was abducted, and she is now in Sète, Yaoundé, including the sister's husband, and quite a number of other people. Let me see, I can find the names of those who were picked up and who are in Kondenge today, but Kondenge refused to acknowledge that said refuses to acknowledge that these people are in their custody. You have one Sabang Raiza. Sabang Raiza is Field Marshal's wife. You have Eshunkong Gebrain Awung. You have Injemdo Festilia. You have Leke Ebia. You have Ndongmo Apollonia. And you also have Atabong Awung Theodore. I go over those names again. The names are Subang Raiza. Then you have Eshukong Gebrain Awung. You have Injemdong Festilia. Then you have Leke Ebai. You have Ndongmo Apollonia. And you have Atabong Awung Theodore. Again, I will be doing a piece on this incident in the coming days. But this is what is happening. All these names and people I have just read, all of them, ladies and gentlemen, they are in Yaoundé, under their custody. But the lawyers show up, and the Jedams in say, no, they are not in their custody. They are not there. They bring a register in which everybody in supposed to be registered in. And they presented to the lawyers and said, look at, this is our register. The people you are looking for are not here. But ladies and gentlemen, just before walking into their office, they could see some of these very people, the names and the people I have read, sitting under the sun trying to get some sunlight. But the lawyers walked into their office and they brought in a register and told them the people are not there. The people were sitting right outside warming the sun. This is what La Republic is doing. So that if they survive, fine. After their torture, fine. They then bring back their names into the re-register. When they die, they are forgotten about, so that nobody knows they were ever in French Cameroon custody. That is what is going on. If your person or relation or friend has been abducted or arrested and you cannot find them, please, they are in Yaoundé or they are dead. That is exactly what is going on. And so these were the few updates I wanted to bring to you. Because of time, I cannot go any further, but because you have given me the number, I would now like to bring to you this presentation, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to bring you the presentation at this moment. But while I do so, please go ahead, continue to hit your share button. Continue to hit your share button while I bring you the presentation. Again, this is a very, very critical piece. This is a very, very critical piece. And I hope that this message will go to every nook and corner of not just Ambazonia, not just Cameroon, but to every person, country that matters in the international arena, in the international community. Fellow Ambazonians, on Friday, February the 14th, our nation was forced into a mourning mood, and we still continue to mourn even now. From continent to continent, the world has joined us to mourn. The international media, perhaps for the first time, has paid attention and reported some of the horrors our people have lived through in almost 4 years of this conflict. We mourn our brothers, we mourn our sisters, our children, and our parents. But particularly in Ngaba and in Tumbo and in Donga, Mantung County, we now know from reports coming from witnesses on the ground that over 35 people were killed that fateful Friday. The majority of them mostly children, plus 2 pregnant women. These victims were not combatants. They were not amber boys, as La République du Cameroon would love to call them, and neither were they terrorists. They live in one of the remotest areas in Donga Mantung, a very small village void of any violence of any kind, until violence found its way to them, thanks to La République du Cameroon soldiers. It was that time you expect the farmer in the village to be up and preparing for the farm. But they had hardly woke up from sleep when the French Cameroon genocidal soldiers sneaked into the village to unleash death, wailing and mourning upon us all. They broke into the victims' homes, pulled some out, and pulled the trigger on them, as if killing them with gunshots was a dignified way of taking their lives. They resorted to smoking and burning them. They died very painfully. The soldiers burnt whole families. We have seen the footages, and we have seen the pictures too. We have seen chars of burnt families, roasted mother lying next to our roasted children, unrecognizable. We have seen the mass graves, husband sleeping next to the wife and to the children too. All these people, they committed only 2 crimes. They were Southern Cameroonians and Bazonians, and they revered freedom and independence for their own homeland. These are the reasons, ladies and gentlemen, for which they died. That's the reason children with their mothers and fathers were roasted alive. They died the most painful deaths anyone can ever imagine. La République du Cameroon, by carrying out these brutal massacres, hoped to send a message to all of us, most especially to all of you Southern Cameroonians living anywhere on ground zero. They wanted to send the message that these same cowardly and barbaric acts will yet repeat themselves. Should Ambazonians, should you continue to stand and advocate for your own free and independent country. They wanted to send the message that they are prepared to kill their way to keeping us part of their damn country. Since the incident, La République du Cameroon has sent out different reactions with each one contradicting the other. Their defense minister came out immediately and acknowledged in a statement that their soldiers committed the exterminations. But he added that it was a mistake. However, yesterday, their communication minister came out with a different, concocted, contradictory version in yet another statement. He said their soldiers did not commit the act. He said that it was an accident that resulted to an inferno, and the accident, according to him, happened because separatists, in his own words, separatists, had stockpiled gasoline and explosives in those homes. Then, they paid some of their newspapers to concoct headlines to the effect that nobody died. Did you read those headlines in the French newspapers that nobody died? As I have stated earlier, the villages of Ngaba and Ntumbo are among some of the remotest areas one will find in all of Ambazonia. The Ambazonian War has never reached them, and Ambazonia Restoration Forces do not live there, have never lived there. In fact, they do not live in sparsely populated areas where their presence can easily be detected. If indeed there was ammunition or explosives in these homes raised down by French Cameroon soldiers, isn't the burden theirs to present proofs to the public, at least some remnants of those ammunition and explosives? No one, and I mean no one, has seen any residue of burnt ammunition or gallons of gasoline to corroborate the narrative of Cameroon's Minister of Communication. The fact is clear, ladies and gentlemen. Cameroon soldiers set out to slaughter the people of Ngaba and Ntumbo, just as they have done in many other communities, Bali, for example, throughout this war. They are absolutely responsible for the genocidal carnage that took place in Donga Mantum. No detergent can ever wash them clean of their guilt, and they know it. Nothing can vindicate them of the killings, because it is human blood. Mr. Paul Biya, Dion Ngute, Paul Atanganji, Ngole, Rene Sadi, and you name the rest, have frequently admonished what they call the professionalism of their soldiers. The world is right now asking, where is the professionalism when your troops kill innocent children, sirs? Some still in the womb. Where is the professionalism when your troops burnt unarmed, defenseless civilians alive, sirs? Where is the professionalism when your troops raze down whole towns and villages? These are not, they are not acts of professionalism. They are acts of cowardice. Any trained soldier that sets a home on fire and is trigger happy to target unarmed civilians is a coward and a thug, not a professional. In a law-abiding society, such would not be permitted to live among good people. They will be in jail. And that is where Mr. Biya's so-called professional army shall belong, when all this is said and done. Their day of reckoning will surely come. La République du Cameroon wants to talk about professionalism. They should learn it from the Ambazonian Restoration Forces. Since this conflict escalated into war, the Ambazonian Restoration Forces have been the ones acting more professionally in spite of the mounting provocations they face on a daily basis. They do not burn houses. They do not burn schools. They do not burn hospitals. They do not attack unarmed civilians. They don't break into people's homes. They don't rape women and girls as French Cameroon soldiers do. In fact, they are not the reason why we have over 800,000 people, displaced persons, in the bushes. They are not the reason why the refugee population in Nigeria, in Gabon, in Benin Republic, in Equatorial Guinea, and in Ghana keeps on swelling. The only reason is French Cameroon soldiers, ladies and gentlemen. And yet, their leaders want the world to believe they act professionally. Ladies and gentlemen, We are not ignorant of the reasons French Cameroon army turns its guns against civilians and burned down their settlements in the southern Cameroons and Bazonia. Paul Biya, their commander-in-chief, gave them the orders on New Year's Eve this year. In an address to his people, he empowered his soldiers to step up brute force against those in the southern Cameroons he described as not buying into his cosmetic window dressing, special status, and decentralization idea. He told the world in that statement, in that speech, that he has already done all that is needed to appease southern Cameroonians or Ambazonians. But that a segment remains intransigent, unbending and uncompromising. This segment, he said, which we all know, of course, embodies the overwhelming majority of our people on ground zero. Paul Biya said his army will confront them and crush them. That is exactly what we are seeing today in Donga Mantum, in Bui, in Ngoketunjia, in Tuba, in Fako, and you can name the rest. Therefore, cognizant of their resolve to kill their way to keeping Cameroon one and indivisible, and seeing it practically taking place, we keep on asking, where is the corresponding resolve of the international community, the Americans, the British, the French, Canadians, Germans, and Swedes to abate these killings? Where are they? Above all, where is the United Nations, the EU, the Commonwealth, and the AU? Where are they? Is it true that lives of our people don't matter? I mean the lives of 8 million southern Cameroonians. Is it true? They don't matter? If they do, why is it that for 4 years, organizations that should keep the world at peace and fight for human rights and dignity sit mute, do almost nothing, as one old man as good as a grave commits such egregious genocidal crimes? Going back to Intumbo and in Garba, we wake up yesterday to the usual international lamentations and calls for immediate investigations, which is all good. We heard from the United Nations in New York, and we heard from Washington, D.C. We heard from a league of international Catholic bishops too, and personalities like former Ghanaian leader J.J. Rawlings. With the exception of Rawlings and the Catholic bishops, it just doesn't come across like what these organizations have said is serious. They have asked that La République du Cameroun carry out strict and immediate investigations that bring the perpetrators of the crime to justice. But how is it possible? How is that possible? How can you ask a thief to investigate himself? What result do you expect? The Ambazonian interim government welcomes a team of impartial international investigators to conduct such investigations, not La République du Cameroun. Anything short of that will be a mockery of such institutions and totally meaningless. And by the way, we should make it abundantly clear that La République du Cameroun is not welcome to carry out any such investigations in our territory. We consider her a foreign nation with which the people of the southern Cameroons have long severed all ties. Any attempt to to have them try any investigation in our territory shall be met with fire. While investigations are good and welcome, we at the Ambazonian interim government continue to make the case for a United Nations intervention force or peacekeeping force on the ground, without which La République du Cameroon will just continue with the impunity of killing unarmed civilians. This is a genocide. No level or amount of investigations will end it if the United Nations doesn't do something that is measurable. Very unfortunately, the United Nations Secretary General's special envoy to Central Africa has not done a good job. In fact, he is corrupt. He is in the pocket of the BS government. He is being paid to act. That is what is happening. He does not inform the United Nations Security Council the exact picture of the happenings on the ground. United Nations Security Council members have had to rely on their diplomats in Yaoundé to get accurate reports of what goes on the ground. Mr. Lasseni Fall of Guinea has never at any time reported accurately the genocide going on in the southern Cameroons. Again, he is seen as corrupt. He is indeed a facilitator of these crimes. And it will make a whole lot of sense for the United Nations Secretary General to replace him. Even when Cameroon has admitted to committing many of these crimes, Mr. Lasseni does not report them. How do we know this? We know it because the United Nations issues quarterly reports from which we read. Fellow Ambazonians, we should never be ignorant of the conspiracies that are against us, both within and without. These things are meant to break our backs. They do it to break our resolve for a free and independent Ambazonia. But let me assure you today that we are not going to blink until our country is free from the Mongol doing Kambe. How can we blink seeing these corpses lying in mass graves? How can we blink seeing our once booming settlements lying in ruins? How can we blink when we have come so far? How can we blink? How can we blink with all the sacrifices we have all paid? Freedom isn't cheap. We must know this. Only the brave, the resilient, and the courageous go for it. It doesn't come overnight too, but it must come. We are looking forward to that day. But while we wait today, we must use today to pay the price. Remain strong. Remain resilient. Remain upbeat. God has the final say. And may He continue, ladies and gentlemen, may He continue to protect us all, protect the revolution, and give us our own home country. Thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen. At this moment, I would like to bring in my guest for the night. I have with me on the set, from my left from my right to my left, I have with me Comrade Indi Manjong, who is joining me. Is it from New York? I think so. And I also have with me one of my secretaries here at the Department of Communications, whose face you all know, Comrade Comfort Comfort. Now, these comrades are all from Donga Manto, and they have been following the developments ever since this genocide in Ngaba and in Tumbo took place. Again, at the last count, we knew there were 31 people who were killed. As of today, we know there are over 35 people, and we have also come to learn of the particular circumstances under which this atrocity happened. It is not what you hear out there from the regime in Yaoundé. You are going to hear it right here. I will start with Comrade Manjong. It's a pleasure to have you, sir.
Thank you very much, Chris.
All right. I'd like you to please take a moment to, thank you. I would like you to take a moment to brief Ambazonians, what you have now found out happened on that Friday, February the 14th. Put the story as you have learned, as you've heard. Let Ambazonians know. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Chris. I'm coming to your listeners from Massachusetts, the United States of America. We have been trying our best to keep touch with what happened back home to our people. And the information we have about this fateful 14th of February, which paradoxically was the saint's day for St. Valentine that is celebrated around the world. St. Valentine is the saint of love, but the evil regime of Paul Biya chose this day. He, as a Catholic, chose the day of St. Valentine to undertake this barbaric act on our people.
Right.
At the Ngarbo in Tumbo, which is a blue subdivision or local government area in Donga Mantu County. Yeah, you have the estimates about right, because the figures are still coming in.
Okay.
Some people managed to escape, but as a matter of fact, they were fatally wounded. They're still stumbling on their corpses in bushes left and right, and adding to the count. Some who made it to places that they thought they could get medical help, whatever medical help they had, did not stop them from adding to the number. So the numbers are still coming in. And I'm here much more to tell the listeners about our predicament in Donga and Mantu, which predicament led to this barbaric act on this chosen day, St. Valentine's Day. Donga and Mantu, you all know, is strategically located. Not by design. It just so happened.
Now, let me stop you a little bit there. Tell us, Nkambe is the capital of Ndongamantung. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Now, how
Nkambe
far
is the capital of Ndongamantung.
How far
Nkambe,
is Ngaba and Intubo from Nkambe? We want to know how far these soldiers had to go into these villages to cause this carnage. How far?
well, to our understanding, a detachment of the army in Nkambe had since moved into Tumbo, because we know of a pastor that has been complaining of his church being confiscated by these soldiers. A thing never heard around the world, that soldiers go to a place and the place they want to occupy. There are government schools around, they're not thinking about going to occupy it, but they have decided instead to seize a church and occupy it. as their abode. So from Kambe, it's probably about roughly maybe 12 miles to get to Tumbo or to get to Ngarbu, because it's probably about uh, 8 miles maybe to get to Ndu, and then from Ndu is a few miles to get to Tumbo or to Ngarbu.
Okay.
But distance here, I am saying, probably is not what matters. What matters much more is the information, the fact that a detachment of this army that has since been stationed in Kambi was moved to station in Dumbo itself. So whatever thing they are coming up with as excuses or using it as their theory of denial, it is for the well-thinking individual to ask them, what was the purpose of moving a detachment of the army from Kambe to Tumbo? If it was to protect the people, how come the
So,
people of Tumbo became the more vulnerable to
so,
this attack that you claim is being done by others?
so was the army in there before this day, or they moved in this day?
It's not so long since the army moved into Tumbo.
Okay.
It's not very long. So they are moving into Tumbo, possibly had this intention. Because the information as we are getting it is like that army moved there somewhere towards the election that took place on the 9th, about.
Okay.
So it's not so long that they moved there. So they must have moved there this February that we are talking.
Now, you talked about a pastor. I remember reading an alarm sent out by a pastor in that community, warning that something bad was going to happen and that he himself was living in fear. Have you been able to speak to him or to the people in other person as on the ground, and what have they told you happened precisely on that night, that morning?
Um, we are reading information and we're trying to reach out there to get what information we can. But to the best of our knowledge, we know that that fateful day when they came in, over 20 something people died on the spot that day. Were accounted for as dead. For example, in one family, the family of Sika, 7 people died. In the family of Gladys Kwecheri, 9 people died, including herself. The Sika family was wiped out.
That's a single family.
Yeah, a family of 7, that's the Sika family, was wiped out on that day. And then the family of this woman, Gladys Kwecheri, was also wiped out. A total of 9, including herself.
What about those who ran into the bush?
Yeah.
Were they okay?
Some who ran into the bushes, like I said, are adding to the count, which is why the count keeps shifting. Because some of them left fatally wounded or ran into the bushes fatally wounded. And they are just discovering them with time that even though they escaped, they never made it. And then those who went to seek medical attention elsewhere themselves in seeking medical attention didn't survive. So the count is continuing to increase.
Let me move to comfort. Tell us your own versions, if there's anything to add to what Comrade Manjong has said, what you know took place that morning, please.
Okay, thank you, Secretary Chris, for first of all inviting us here tonight. Thank you, fellow Amazonians, for being there for us. Just to add to what my senior comrade has said, I would just like to make this, first of all, paint this picture that the village of Ngarbu in Tumbo nothing but fear is looming the entire atmosphere of that small village because of the thing that happened on that day, that blessed early morning, where people were taken aback before the people could wake up from sleep. What they met in front of them were the military of La République du Cameroon, where people who woke up early enough to go to their farms, either for tapping or check on their animals or things like that, were caught up in the bushes. The little girl, one of the first persons who received a bullet and who did not make it, who died, was actually sweeping the compound. She woke up that early morning sweeping, and she was the first person who received the first gunshot. Others who were sent on errands never saw home again because they had to be shot dead on their way. A mother who was breastfeeding a baby was snatched off that baby. The breast was snatched off the baby's mouth. She was shot dead right in front of her own baby, and her legs or her feet were burnt. A lot of things were happening, so people just taken unawares. There's this man who is reported he was sleeping like half dressed because places were too hot. His pregnant wife was sleeping in the other place with his own mother, and the wife was shot dead. And that is how it went on and on. People were shot dead from the ages of months to toddlers to teenagers to middle to old age. So every generation was actually brought down, some burnt alive, and all of those things. And it did not even end at that. They insisted because what they wanted, these cowards, the cowardly, illiterate thugs that are serving the living, the moving corpses in Yaoundé. They apparently were in search of the Ambazonia Restoration Forces who were hiding in the village of Ngarbu in Tumbok. And if they did not find them, they had to vent their anger on innocent, armless people, the people with whom they intend to make an indivisible Cameroon. Actually, it is a horrible situation. And just to add to confirm what you say, the numbers are above 35 because they keep discovering corpses every day. So
Now,
we
where
are
are these
in close touch.
corpses being discovered? In the bushes where people ran to, or what?
Yes, yes. Most of the corpses are discovered in the bushes. For example, someone who got up in the morning, like the elderly people, it's a culture in my place in the morning. The elderly people, the men, for example, they wake up early and go tapping. They go check on their animals and so on. They meet you on their way and they gun you down. Children who woke up in the morning and went on errand or to fetch water, they never came back home.
Now,
And
let
so
me
they
get
pick
back.
corpses from all over.
Yeah, let me get back to Comrade Manjong there, and you can come in after. You have heard the reports from Yaoundé, from one, their defense minister, and two, from their communications minister. And he says, first, the defense minister said yes, our soldiers did it. Then the communication minister came back and said, it wasn't intentional. It was an explosion that took place in those homes that burnt the people alive. Is that what we have been told from ground zero, sir?
Well, I think the part that is true is the acknowledgement that their soldiers did it, maybe with their local associates.
Mm-hmm.
So the acceptance by Yaoundé that their army did it, that one is correct. It's been corroborated by people around because people said, yeah, we saw soldiers come. And they came with some of our local people. And by local people, they could recognize the Borough people that they have been meeting,
right,
in places, in markets, sharing farmer grazier boundaries with them. And the young men who have decided to pledge their allegiance to the politician Jira Ngala, who is now the political godfather of Donga Mandu. So these individuals at least recognize those locals who have pledged allegiance to Jirangala.
Secretary Chris, if I may add something to that.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, I'm really itchy because I think there is this natural unedited video that came out from Garbu village, from one of the oldest persons, one of the most senior citizens in that village, who was speaking, and I'm speaking now with tears in my eyes because he spoke and told us he wept. That is something we don't see in our village. We don't watch our old men weep. And he wept in front of everybody when he saw the corpses. He says, before he discovered himself, the people around were running and coming to him, that the military have invaded the place. And he said, what is happening? He said, the military
now,
are here.
Did you say it is a video?
Yes, I've sent it to you. I forwarded it on your WhatsApp right now. If it's possible, you may want to project it, please.
Yeah,
so he says, people running to him and say, come on, the military are here, they are killing us, they are shooting our people. He said, come on to me and die with me here. Come on. And all of them were running towards him, and they asked, how you do know who you know he shoot that people? He said they were the military because he saw them in uniform. He saw them in uniform with his own naked eyes, and he saw them with the guns. He saw them shooting. So the moment he manages to go out and he turns around and sees the corpses, all he did was turn around. They asked him, how many corpses did you see? He said, I could not count them because when I saw the corpses and saw my own children lying on the floor like insects, all I could do was cry. So he saw it. It is not like it's a doubt. It's not like anything. I know they were led by some of ours, or because one of the children who is an eyewitness, recognized a Mbororo person, a Fulani person of that community, who led these people into our homes to kill our people. So you have this video unedited. It's very natural. You see Pa speaking and with tears in his eyes. Secretary Chris, you need to unmute yourself. You need to unmute yourself.
Thank you. I have seen some photos. I don't know whether those photos are coming from Ngaraba or Tumba, with soldiers digging a mass grave for burial. Have you been able to authenticate whether those pictures are coming from those villages? Any of you can answer that.
That is just one.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yes, Comrade Manjong,
yeah,
go ahead, please.
Yeah, we do have pictures of the mass burial.
And those pictures
the burial that took place, yeah.
And they took place in these two villages.
Yeah. The mass burial was done in the village of Garbo itself.
Now, we have also learned, I think, Comfort, you were trying to give me this piece of information yesterday of a chief or a fund who is collaborating with French Cameroon soldiers. In fact, I learned that the fund's palace has now been turned into a camp. He hosts the soldiers,
yes,
asks people in the village to cook for the soldiers. Tell us that story. Tell us what is going on.
Yes, this is what is happening. But before I go ahead, Secretary Chris, I want to make a clarification. I'm happy our senior comrade is here to really clarify even much better. Ngarbu is a small village under Ntumbo. And Ntumbo is a village under new local government area. So Ngarbu and Ntumbo are not two separate villages. It's just like a neighborhood in Ntumbo village. It's just one of the, like you have a small, like a small hamlet in Ntumbo village.
Okay.
So they are not separate, two separate villages. Yes. So the fund of Ntumbo is the custodian of everybody in Ntumbo, including people of Ngarbu village. Mm-hmm. So what happened just days after the most cruel massacre that has ever taken place, to the best of my own knowledge, or that I've experienced, the fund of this village calls his people for a meeting. Everybody's coming anxious to hear what does our own father want to say. And what he demands of his people is that they should contribute money and food so that they will feed the same people who are here.
Now that was happening before these massacres, am I correct?
No, this happened on Monday the 17th.
Oh,
The
Monday
massacre
the
was on Friday
17th,
the 4th.
after this incident.
Yes, the phone calls the people and say, you contribute money and food so we can feed these illiterate, thuggish military serving moving cops out there, you know, who are even ready, because even after they did that, they promised a teenage boy who watched them killing his own uncle and his wife. They told this boy, we are coming back. You know, that is why I say the whole place is in, there is suspicion, there is unrest. People don't even trust whoever, nobody is sure whether this is still my uncle, because they don't know whether the military have disguised in some other way to come and finish them. And the same fund, who is supposed to be the custodian of these people, orders that they should feed the enemy. He should feed the people who supposedly should have broken his heart, because this kind of a thing I have never seen in my life before. So I don't know what is happening in the mind of the fund. I don't know what he thinks. But I want to use this opportunity, Secretary. Stop me anytime. I just want to speak.
Before you get there, is it possible
Yeah.
that the phone may be acting under duress, considering that he has the presence of these soldiers in his palace?
That is a good question. It's a tricky. Okay, maybe our senior comrade has something to say. I would like to listen to. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, and your
Yes, sir.
and your listeners.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, things in Donga Mountain, especially in what we call the Wimbum area of Donga Mountain, is mixed. And
Okay.
there are things that have been happening with one fund after the other. And because nobody is saying anything, because the set elites who are probably in Yaoundé that people look up to have not been saying anything, they have not been protesting anything. So some of the funds themselves, they look helpless because they have seen their colleagues go through the impossible that funds in the Northwest never go through. For example, the fund of Cook, a former civil servant, a retired civil
I'm sorry,
servant.
the phone of where?
Cook,
Coop, that is a
Coop,
village of
K-U-P.
Ngalamfo.
Okay.
Yeah. The fund of that village was taken to Kambe and molested. Nobody said anything. The fund of Binka, coming back from Mr. J, was accosted in Kambe and was molested. He was even stripped, a thing unheard of in Wimobla.
The phone
Nobody said
was
anything.
stripped.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nobody said anything. And of course, the fund is now one of the internally displaced persons, because he couldn't understand how he, of all persons, will undergo such indignities. And then there are things that have been happening. If you remember, Chris, that in 1992, the town of Ndu was sacked by the very military that we're talking of today. Nobody said anything. And then when this thing began, the soldiers that Ndawara brought to take watch over his tea that he was storing in Mbia went to the Mbia market on a blessed day in the full view of everybody and shot a young man and stood watch for the young man to die. Nobody said anything. The Wara's very soldiers went to Wowo, another village, met a young man who had gone to look after their farm. They got him, they tied him behind their military truck, they dragged him from Wowo to Kaka.
Behind a military truck.
He died. Yeah. Nobody said anything.
Now, that was this all happened
Secretary.
before this revolution.
Yes.
Am I correct?
That was
During
1919.
this period.
During this period. Okay,
During
go
this
ahead.
period.
Go on, please.
Yeah, the new incident happened in 1992. But all of these other things that I'm telling you are things that happened recently. About the funds I'm describing, about what happened in BA to the man that was shot and watched to die, the thing that happened to the young man that was tied behind a military truck and dragged to his death. And further, I will tell you, the army from Kambe was going to, I don't know what mission they had, but they passed through war. They saw a prince and his son. They shot them dead. The Joe Hindu came out with an idiotic order or release saying that the reason as to why the soldiers shot those princes was because they saw the soldiers and they were running. I don't know any law that says that if people are running away from the soldiers will shoot them. Never heard of that. But the Joe wrote a memo to that effect. So people have been running, they shoot them. They don't run, they shoot them. So what are the people supposed to do?
Right.
They have been doing this in Donga and Mantu, especially in Wimbomland, and nothing has been happening. So the strategy now is let us use Wimbomland to unleash an untold barbarism so that the rest of the southern Cameroon will fear and surrender. To me, that's the strategy.
Secretary, yeah, yes. May I say something, please?
Go on, please.
I'm so cross. I feel so. Yes, there's something Pa is saying here. I do understand and appreciate that. I know that our funds, because there is the videos that came from Garbu that I watched this afternoon. One of them, Pa is saying what he saw with his own eyes. The other Pa, who is the same age like the other one, says the people with the shoot, but they did not know that they were but then it was not the military. He was trying to defend them. But when you look, the person sitting near him is a deal. So me too, sitting near the divisional officer or the senior divisional officer, I would say the military did not kill them. So I understand what Pa is saying. But this thing they call elites in Yaoundé, whoever they are, the Gerards, the Shea Joneses, the God loves, whoever from Bumland, who is eliting in Yaoundé, who have used this revolution and our people from time immemorial, they have found this revolution as a kind of a career opportunity. They are riding over the blood of our people and feeding themselves fat. That is why the fund can say whatever thing he wants to say because he wants to leave. I understand Pa so well. But this, I am sounding like a warning. Somebody may think I'm a nobody, but time is coming. It is only a matter of time. Whoever calls themselves an elite, that you are using our people for a ride, that even at this moment, you tread on the blood of our people because you have found a political career and you are pumping your pockets really fat and high. Believe me, you are going to pay in one way or the other because it can't go for nothing. It happened in 1992 as Pa is recounting and went. We were still children and today it is still happening. But believe me, whoever calls themselves elites, they don't say anything. They are very comfortable. Some of them who have houses in Cambe, they have said, you don't dash with the houses in Cambe. They will never come there. They have found their newfound home in Yaoundé, in La République du Cameroon, across the Mungo. So there is nothing like elites. They cannot say anything. I understand. I do understand, but then I have to equally say exactly what the fund said. You know, but I know that maybe they're looking for up to the elites, but waiting for them, you will wait forever because it is a political career. They are feeding fat from it. While our people are dying and bleeding to death, they make their holidays in Europe, in America, in Dubai and so on, with money they get from these people. These same people who are so loyal to them that they even die for them. These people, they don't even have water to drink. They don't have electricity. If there is dark out in Bamenda, in the northern zone, for 4 days, it is going to be in Kambe, Donga Matu for 4 weeks. That is what they are going through. These elites, you think they don't know? They know it. Quite aware of it. So we don't look up to elites these days. Let's look at some other thing of handling this and taking care of our people and let the elites be where they are. And thank God, let them stay where they are because they will never come on as long as Amazonia still exists. Yeah.
Now, what do you know about the UN team, UNHCR team that went up to investigate these killings? What do you know about who they spoke to, who they met, where they went? What do you know? Both of you, what do you know? Comrade Manjong, please.
Well, I think the information we are having is equally mixed because when you try to inquire about the UN team, then I think I did listen to one of the leaders from a UN team, and he said they are not of of of, of the investigative arm, that they went there more or less to scout, to do some scouting on what humanitarian assistance
Right, they went
they
there
can
on a
provide.
humanitarian basis, having learned of what took place there.
Yeah, what? Because they are kind of diplomatic when they ask them the question. They try to be diplomatic in their
Right.
answers. They don't want to commit one or the other because they want to stick. They keep kind of to the script that the investigative team maybe is still to come, and that's their job. They are not here to. They didn't go to investigate, and I'm not sure they were even allowed access to Ngarbu, the village
Yeah,
of
they have
Warrior,
said
because
they have said they were not allowed access into that community, and so they left for Bamenda without
yes,
talking to anybody from that community. So
yes.
in other words, now let me ask this: have you been able to have access to people who survived and were in the hospital?
Well,
Uh,
we do have videos of persons like the local the landlord of the area that was directly affected, the sub chief. Well,
Okay.
we do have a video of his presentation to one of our local persons that braved it there on his own singular mission to find out what happened. So yeah, we do have some of that. So if you are interested at some point, we could
Please,
send you that recording. And
please.
we do have information that actually came from the school headmaster of the area,
Right,
accounting
I have
for
seen that
this.
one too. Now, is the headmaster still in the area?
Well, he's still in, I think he's still in the area.
How about the pastor?
Maybe not. Yeah, the pastor may still be in the area, and maybe just counting on whatever. Now that his information is gone around the world, at least he's looking left and right as to whether they were accosting for whatever information people have that the army has occupied
mhm.
his church.
Comfort, please. You wanted to say something.
Yeah, I know your first question was whatever the UN people went and did out there. I have my own way of looking at things. I know the only thing that Pa said, Pa even has more information than I do, because all I hear is they went and at the level of the palace they were stopped and they could not go further. They could not go beyond, so they did not go to Ngarbu to do the investigations. But what do I have to tell from this? I always have another way of looking at things, because this UN are the same people. We have been waiting for these people for so long. We will wait, and that is all. They will go like that and come back, and nothing happens. And if they have nothing else to do, what do we else do? What interests me, even that I'm sitting here, is just like, please, I'm rather here to plead for the poor. First of all, I think that this is a clarion call for sons and daughters of Dongamanton County, because we have had our own share now. These people have died. This is a wake-up call. I don't want us to sit and be waiting for the UN to go and do some investigations or whatever. But what are we doing while the UN are doing their investigation, or they are not doing it? What are we doing? We want to stop this from happening again, because they are planning to come back. We don't know what they will come back this time around and do. And yes.
Now, talking about that, and I would like to hear from both of you about this. We have heard this narrative about Mbororos and Fulanis causing problems within that Nkambe, Ndonga community, and even Menchum again and again and again
Yes.
and again. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to resolve that particular problem? Because the Fulanese, that is where they have lived. So there got to be some kind of communal reconciliation there. That is assuming if it is possible. But is there anything that can be done to bring the two people to know that this is our destiny? I mean, Ambazonia is part of our destiny. Comrade Manjong, please.
Yeah, Chris, from almost time immemorial, the relationship between the Boros and the local people, because the Boros are headers, the local people are crop farmers, the relationship had always been tenuous. But of recent, that relationship seemed to be greatly improved, and they were living side by side each other with the ceremonies of the past. But a new fight, a political new
if
fight.
I may stop you there a little bit and ask, what is the population of the Fulanis in that area?
Oh, it's in terms of, in proportion to the local population, it is kind of close to negligible.
Okay, so it's
Yeah,
not,
because
it's an insignificant number.
just the Wimbo people. Yeah, the Wimbo people number over 100,000.
Okay.
The Wimbo people number over 100,000. The Boro people in the Wimbo area, I don't think that they count up to 10,000.
Okay. Yeah, so you were
So it's
saying
an
that.
insignificant number.
So you were about saying that of recent something.
So what I was saying was, if you do want, I will also send that to you. Giral went to a cattle market, we call the Bishwa cattle market, where he held a rally with the Boro people. And he was telling them that, you know, trying to patch things up with the local people is not going to help you. Those are Giral's instructions or his advice to the Boro people. It's not going to help you. What you can do to help yourself is you have to terrorize them and let them fear you. And then he was saying that if you see them, catch them, bring them to the duo and to the gendarme. So giving them the law of accosting officers, can bring them in, and then if they find that they have no criminal background, then they can release them. That Gerald telling the Borough people to do that. So I don't know what his intentions are as a politician in trying to recultivate these animosity that used to exist between the Bororos and the local people. I just don't understand.
If I may ask, I look at this Gerard, he's a young guy, I'm sure I am his elder in terms of age. How did he become so powerful to the extent he basically controls the entire county?
Well,
history has
in
it
his own way.
Comfort, go ahead, please.
Yes, Pa. No, Pa wants to talk. Let me give him first.
Okay.
Yeah, he has his own new theory of Machiavelli, Prince Machiavelli. So he is trying to develop that if he can pursue his political ends with impunity and it works, then that's the new Machiavellian approach to politics. So he's not a very much read gentleman, probably high school dropout, stuff like that. But I'm not sure he had ever read the Prince Machiavelli anyway. But I'm saying that he is coming out with intuitively with his own theory of that if he can be ruthless, he can be whatever and achieve his political goal, then that could become the new political doctrine of political adventure. And it looks like he's fashioning it, and it seems to. And then the people in Yaoundé, retired civil servants, some of them with doctorate degrees, some of them with high-sounding cultural titles, they follow him to his rallies. Nobody has ever grabbed this young man aside and said, you know, culturally, you're not supposed to be saying the things you are saying. You cannot openly say that people should form vigilante groups and kill their own brothers and sisters. Nobody's telling him that.
Is Gerard a very rich person?
Well, yeah, everybody.
No, I mean because
Yeah,
you have to wield such power only with money, correct?
yeah. Well, Chris, in terms of uh, of the southern Cameroons that will come, there's all this, there was all the noise about somebody being a millionaire.
Yes.
So if you are a millionaire, which could be a million CFA, they are rich man, right? So he is not a rich man in terms of our Wimbomland or in terms of our Donga Mantu, that his money is like one of those that is very up there as compared to others. But he's using whatever he is, and his willingness to be able to do ruthless things make it possible for him to be able to do whatever he wants to do, whatever he wants to do. They're doling the money out to him. He's not using his money. Yeah, he will be using his money that he has that type of money from where. Yeah, he may have some money because he claims he's a contractor. Maybe he had used equipment that he got left and right. Yeah, he spent some money to get that. But I'm saying that if his total worth is, for example, 100 million CFA. So anybody with 100 million CFA as a businessman will be going out like on the state market there I'm talking of. The borrowers complained that Amber Boys came and burnt their bridge. How they knew that it was the Amber Boys that came and burnt their bridge? Oh, Jira sent a hand and counted 100,000 francs and gave them to go and replace the bridge. He must be a very rich man. He comes from Tabike. And in Tabike, I know, I've been there.
Yeah,
there are people.
I have my own.
Yeah, there are people that eat morning to night without a meal. And they've never had $1,000, 1,000 francs from Jira.
Comfort, go ahead, please.
Secretary Chris, I'm sorry, we are talking Gerard here, but what it actually brought me here is not Gerard. But I'll say a bit, but you need to give me time to say what I really want us to know here.
Yes, go ahead.
What I know about Gerard, what I hear about him, he's a fugitive. He has a history of always fidgeting, sending hand there or there to snatch or to steal. From his history from school to Euro home, Gerard, he may have some bit of money, not that much as far as saying, but I want to say how much he has and how he is spreading it out there now. I think go back to whoever calls elites. I feel that they don't have the courage, but because Gerard has accepted and he has the courage and he's facing it, I feel that he has some of the support to financial support from those people they call elites, because I don't see them anywhere. Those people they call elite, if they don't want war because we have chosen to fight war, let them take care of the humanitarian situation. Our people are suffering. Our mothers and children are sleeping in the forests. Let these people at least contribute even money and go take care of those people. You don't see them even at that level. So where do their millions go to? They have surely, that's what I think, that they surely contribute some of these millions, support Gerard and say, go boy, go, because you are the young one, you are the courageous one, go. And he does all he does with the Mbororo people. And he has brought them over, and they act as spies and so on. They see some little thing here, they report or they call or they give them guns and they shoot our people at will and get away with it, because that is the order in La République du Cameroon. So I don't think that we are actually here to discuss Gerard, because he knows, as much as I'm concerned, him and his type, they are all losers. What I'm coming here, what I am here today, why I'm sitting here is because I have an appeal. Because yes, now my question is, we want to, yes, I really have an appeal. We do badly need help, because our people are in problems. Our people are really, really suffering. Believe me, the fear that is in Garbo is not only there, but it covers now the whole of the new local government area. So what next is what we are going to talk. Let us talk money. I am calling especially for sons and daughters of Nkambe, of Dongamanto County. We have been sleeping, and we have been sleeping for so long. Since 2017, what you and Gerard do on 20th May and 11th February is write cardboards and say no to Ghost Town, no to separation, and no to all of those things. Just a few days after Gerard comes and uses you for a ride, they kill your people. What you need to do now is stand up, pay money, and stop the enemy from coming back. What you need now to do is pay money and take care of the rest of the people who have, because many people have sustained injuries. We don't even know where they are. Some are hiding in forests with injuries, with bullets on them, and so on. Where are these other people going to go to? So what we need now is money. If somebody can support us, those of Donga Mantu in general, you have been out for so long, you have been silent from home to diaspora. People need to wake up now and do something to handle this situation, because the worst is still coming. If you still don't, because I think that something must have moved you by now. Ask yourself, what did this little girl do? Her crime was that she is so well brought up that by as early as 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning, she wakes up and is cleaning the compound and she never goes back into the house. What was the crime of the pregnant women? That they are pregnant with children to born young children who will be leaders of this country tomorrow. That was their crime. What happens to the children, the babies and the toddlers and the school children? You are expecting these same children to go back to school and you are killing them. Enough of this provocation. Any other thing we can tolerate. What I will not tolerate is the elites. Clearly, in clear terms, what we can never tolerate is those they call elites who use our people for a ride, who are using this revolution for a career, that they found a career opportunity. But please, let us fund this revolution. Let us fund Gambe, sons and daughters of Gambe, please. Pay in money, join your county and pay. And sympathizers of Donga Manto, we really do need money now. We badly need money. We don't know what is awaiting us. We don't know what else Gerard is up to and his people. The La Republic we are speaking now, they are still in Tumbo. What are they doing? Where else are they heading to? Do they want to go and finish the people in Garbu as they had promised? Do they want to turn around and kill even the fund and say we killed them because fund said people should contribute money and feed them? A lot is waiting. So what we should talk now is money. Please, I am actually here to beg for money because we want to stop this from happening. I can't bear it anymore. You know, I know how it feels being pregnant. I know how childbearing feels like. I know what it means raising a child. But what I don't know how it feels is dying with pregnancy. What I don't know how it feels is when a baby is being snatched of breast milk from its mouth and mother killed and burnt into ashes or the feet burnt. How I don't feel is my child being killed and burnt into ashes in front of me. Do we want to let this keep on happening? It started from Pinyin to Bali to all of those places, and it's still going round and round and round. When we come here and speak Gerard, we make them feel important, and they know that what they are doing, they are making an impact, and they do more. Let us stop them with money. It is all about money. Whether you want to do the vegetarian or the whatever, it takes money. Let us contribute money, please.
All right. People, I mean, from the last broadcast that we did, people came out, a lot of phone calls, people saying the Ndonga Mantung County is not organized, which is one of the reasons why, I guess, you're not having enough money come in. I know you desperately need that money now, but what efforts are being put in place to really get it reorganized and to take care of stuff like this? Comrade Manjong, you can respond, please.
Well, like you said, it's not like we are not organized. Well, this was the idea of a war was thrust upon us. We didn't go out saying that we were going to fight a war to form Amazonia. We said we were going to argue it out, because we were made to understand that the force of argument is probably much better than the argument of force. And I will try to keep to that script. But this war was thrust upon us. Initially we thought it was a joke. And then when we discovered that it wasn't a joke, well, some well-thinking people, of course, have been struggling to say, well, at least I should try to provide some self-defense to myself and to my people. If all that I have to do is death, maybe I should die fighting, either for myself or for my people. And I think it is those persons who have offered that to just sit and watch the helpless die like in Garbo, is not saving anybody anything. And they have been struggling to fight. Maybe if they knew that the army was going to Garbo, they would have come from wherever and intercepted them at some point to try to resist them before they will force their way to get to Garbo. But they don't have the means. And so they were absent from Garbo, and then they got in and had a free reign in what they did. And I think what Comfort is saying is that if people can assist those individuals who have said that they cannot sit and watch their people die and themselves die without making an effort to fight back in self-defense, are the people that she's asking and we are asking that need support to be able to hold the Donga Mantung end as other people are holding their own end, to make sure that we create a better Amazonia that will be a light to much of Africa.
All right. Thank you. Thank both of you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, what they are talking about here is part of the resilience that we need to put up, and Donga Mantung community needs to put up. But at this moment, they need all of us. They need every one of us. It doesn't matter what county, what local government you belong to. Donga Mantung, they need us to step up support for that community. It is the only way we are going to demonstrate our resilience, that we have the backs of one another. We have the backs of one another. That is the message. A lot of people do come around things that we will not send. But I want us to send that message and send it loud and clear to the international community that when you attack any of our communities, all the communities will take it as a challenge, rise up to support it. I want to make this special appeal. You have the information on your screen. Please, please, I need you to make a one-time donation to the people, to the county of Donga Mantung. A number of things have to be done there, taken care there. If we have to see the Zingala Gerard taken out of that county, and made powerless, it would have to take money to do that. And so I am appealing to every one of you listening to the sound of my voice, even those of you on ground zero who can help, who want to stand up to support Ndonga Mantung. And this is not even coincidental. Ndonga Mantung has been very, very, very lacking when it comes to obedience to ghost towns, lockdown, revolution stuff. In Kambe is the most wanted. We all know that. We saw 11th of February festivities in Kambe. It was like nothing. This war doesn't take place there. Ambazonians, let's help in Kambe. Let's step up the resistance in Kambe. And so you have the number on your screen. Support Donga Mantung now. Now. You also have the Cash App number, and you have the PayPal number. You can use any of this information to reach out to make a one-time donation to the people of Donga Mantung County. Let's do so and shame a lot of people to come around to their face. We have to take care of one another if we have to succeed, if we have to win this struggle. Now, I would like to open the phone lines to take a few calls before we call it a day. And I think I will spend just about 10 minutes for that, because I know people are eager to call and make a few contributions. And it seems I have the first caller already. Let me take that call. Hello? Hello, you are live on ABC Amber TV, sir.
Yes, sir. My name is George, calling from Maryland.
Okay.
I just want to add this point to my sister and my father there. I'm saying this with tears in my eye. I come from the Southwest. What I saw the other day, I've been traumatized all these days. But what I'm saying is, they're talking about whether Ngalajera is rich, and the rich and this. Ngalajera is rich. Rich how? The elite in Yaoundé, one of the elite was a director of Solvay School, which I know very well. And then with the other minister and the Atanganji, they plot a meeting in Yaoundé and gather millions of francs and give it to Ngalajera since he can penetrate these people in Campbell. He has used the money so well with the Fulanis, with a lot of people buying his way out with the military. He move on convoy. He's like, he's more than even a Kema now. A Kema used to be like that. Mm-hmm. So what they're saying, that it is riches. He has taken the riches from Yaoundé. It's not his personal money. They just look at him like they can look somebody from the BLM and see that if the person can penetrate the BLM and negotiate, and they at least give him all the money because they had the money from the government. They give the money to buy their way out. So I'm just begging, this thing like this, I'm saying this with tears in my eye because even my own village has unveiled. There is no person living there, as I'm telling you right now. I don't just want to disclose it, and I will tell you, Chris, later who is talking to you. My village, they went there, they took some of the boys, cut them neck. The military cut them neck. Nobody was there to videotape this and send. People are calling me. They call me right up to today. There is no single soul living in my village.
When did that happen?
It happened about last week. And then there is something that I will tell you, Chris. Somebody, they left the camp. In short, this thing, I will just call you confidential after this.
Okay.
Please, pick my call. I will call you. So, as I'm telling you this thing, the Ndonga Mantum people need to step up. What I'm saying, Chris, after these incidents and all those things, people will commit suicide with their elite in Southwest and Northwest. Watch what I'm telling you today. Because there are people that will leave the same America or Europe or whatever, even by the corner of Cameroon. Some will pay this, they will pay these people the price what they've never seen. Because they have killed people. The plan of Phobia is going to the villages, unveil all the villages. When the people leave to town, like they're in Boyana, living normal life, and a few places in Bamenda that living normal life, they will declare that everything has come to normal. But what Phobia has done, he has unveiled all the villages from the northwest and the southwest. As I'm telling you now, people are no more living in their village. The villages are deserted.
All
so
right.
Now he's proud with the town and the Boya and Bamenda town.
All right, thank you for the call. Again, we are appealing to everybody out there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's support Ndonga Mantum. Let's support Ndonga Mantum. You have the donation information right there on your screen. We have no option. Maybe your turn tomorrow. We will all stand up to support you. Today, it is that of Ndonga Mantum. We need to support them. I need people who will call me and say, Chris, I want to pay in $1,000, $500 to the people of Ndonga Mantum. The Cash App and the PayPal contact you find on your screen is theirs. It is theirs. So please, call me, let me know if you are making that amount of donation today. Let me take more callers. Hello, sir. Hello.
Good afternoon, Secretary Chris.
Good afternoon, sir. I know you are calling from Belgium. How are you doing today?
No, I'm fine. This is Sama Thomas.
Okay. What is your contribution?
Well, like my people are saying, the two panelists, I just want to react on this issue of the Mboros or the Fulanis in general.
All right, make
I want
it
to say
brief.
that in southern Cameroon, The Fulanese are not indigenous people of southern Cameroons. That is why everywhere you have Hausa quarter, you have Hausa quarter in Mankot, in Boya, and everywhere. These people are immigrants, and it seems their time is overdue. They need to leave our community, for we cannot live with the people that we gave them cold water and they've decided to put hot iron or lava for us to sit down our throats. It cannot work. The earlier these people leave, the better, or they will pay the price like any other La Republican citizen that is in the southern Cameroons. If you are still there, then you will take the late train. The people who've left have taken the early train, and those that are still there, they will take the late train. We will not condone with this nonsense again. All of them, I don't want to leave. They will die as our people are dying.
Thanks for the call. Thanks for the call. We will leave that in the hands of the people on the ground. They decide what they want to do.
Secretary Chris, please.
With that
Secretary Chris.
situation.
Secretary Chris.
Yes, please.
Yes, somebody is asking how can they pay from UAE. So let them look at the payment platforms. If it's not possible, let them reach out either to you or to me, and we'll help them how to pay, please.
All right, I will come to that. Give me a second. Let me get this caller here. I think I missed that caller. Hello, sir.
Greetings to all in the studio.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. Where are you calling from?
Calling from the capital city of Larissa.
The capital of where?
The capital of where? Larissa, Republic.
Oh, okay. Oh, is that a new name for them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What is the contribution, sir?
I want to contribute on three main things. I want to cue on from the last discussion you held in the studio, because I heard the chairman for Donga Mantum Defense Department complain of the scamming that have been taking place in the past time. So to them, they don't know how they can send money to buy weapons for GA for Ground Zero. I really want to pass this message through our television, that they should really mind what they say sometimes. And secondly, I think someone like Gerard is a kind of person that the Pobia would like to work with, because Pobia usually will use those who are how do I put it? He like to use thieves, those whom people does not believe in them, and then work with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I strongly believe that if our boys in Dunga had enough weapons, there would not have been a way for Larissa's thoughts to end anger. It wouldn't have been possible.
All right. Thanks for the call.
I strongly believe that it is because our boy in Dunga. Thanks for the call.
All right. Let's get this caller. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Am I live on TV?
You are live on ABC, sir.
All right, Secretary Chris. The thing where I would like to talk now for we mommy them and papa them for country.
Okay.
This one for everybody for Amazonia. Say I would like to suggest. Say as we don't see what happened for Ngabo. I would like to propose. Say make mommy them and papa them, make everybody for home. Me they try for buy whistle, so that if it be say they hear say that people they don't come kill people them, make some one person a blow whistle. We know say when they blow that whistle, La République them, that gendarme them, they go no say that whistle come from this side. But if they blow that whistle, people they hear, they go no say that people then there, and then they will feel come on run. So which way people they get for Juna say they get for get different kind sound them for tell people them say that people then they around. Because if today they blow whistle some particular way, that people they will learn them, and then maybe tomorrow they when they come they go blow whistle that particular way, so that people then come out they kill them. So I try for beg for everybody for home. If we're there for every village, make una get some particular sound. Una they change that sound them every day. Where una feel blood, make una learn them, una pass them amongst everybody for village. Me they know. Say maybe if una hear this sound like this, make una know say that people that they come. And then tomorrow or the next time, una change that sound for whistle. Now so we go fit take them for save some of the people them.
All
So
right.
yeah,
Thank you for the call. Comrade Manjong Comfort, you have any input there? No input there. All right.
Well, yeah, my input will be that, which is nothing new. It's just what we have been saying in different words, that we need the support of the world in terms of what just happened in Garbo. Because it's not only going to happen in Garbo, it's going to happen in other places in Donga Mountain. Because the regime in Yaoundé has discovered that Donga Mountain has the soft spot which they can utilize. And it can be assisted to disprove that their theory of using a soft spot, then it will be good for us and it will be good for all of Ambazonia. Those people who have their own misgivings as to what, take it this way. It just happened in Garbo. We don't know why the regime is stopping people from visiting there. And they likely are not going just to stop at stopping people from visiting there. They may have the intentions of going there when nobody is watching to make sure that all evidence is destroyed. So people's contribution will preserve evidence. And if anybody living anywhere that is a benefactor of the existence of evidence, Hitler didn't destroy all of his evidence. That's why we are talking about what he did today, because evidence is there. So people can choose to make their contribution. That contribution could go to preserve evidence, which could be used.
All right.
Even 100 years from now, to seek justice for these people.
All right. Let me get to the next caller. Hello. 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 Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Turn down the volume of your TV, please.
Okay, I'm calling from Ground Zero.
All right, where precisely on Ground Zero?
Yes. Which I will talk now say the fighters. some of we will still there for back. But the fighters them made them know for the look like radar. What you mean by radar? Made them keep a special one them for place where they could see if some people already come. And any man way big when black man, made them not sorry that kind of people. Because even the talk of Nyongo, now another Nyongo that was some people they do they work their money. So money we allow any man with a black leg for our land. We take this thing serious. And
All
then
right.
our papa they made a buy with you, made they need to take the money for see me they are picking the key die. We will keep upload them to tomorrow.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I think those are all the calls we can take today. Ladies and gentlemen, again, my appeal, all of our appeal to all of you watching and listening is to get your bank card. Get your bank card. Let us stand today on the side of Donga Mantung. Let us support them. You have the payment information right there on your screen. I am still looking for somebody who will call up and say, Secretary Chris, I have $500, I have $1,000. You can either call or send that message to me. Just make the payment with that WhatsApp or that PayPal, or even if you want to write a check, I will direct you where to send that check to. Make that phone call, make that payment, and let's stand with our people. Comrade Manjong and Comfort, I will have your last words. Anything that you want to say, leave with the people before you go.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to first of all thank fellow Amazonians for sympathizing with us. That is the spirit. Thank you for being there for us. And yeah, we know that Igambe or Donga Mantong is just like a small finger. If we appear to be the weak ones,
How many
we
LGAs
cannot
in
move
Donga
along.
Mantung?
There are 5 altogether. We have Kambe, we have Ndu, we have Nwa, Ako, and Miseje
Okay.
local government areas. So we have 5 altogether. Yeah. So actually, the other ones they do well. Nwa, those they fight Ako and do all in Kambe is actually the place Kambe, which is the headquarters. But we are pleading that we need to. Ambazonia will only be a whole when Kambe is also involved, or the Donga Mantung is included. So we really do need your financial support. Sons and daughters of Kambe, join your LGA, come in so that you give your money and decide on it how it should be used, because homeland needs to be set free. And like a reminder to those who have been given positions, because nobody elected you, even though elections took place like in Kambe, it's rather unfortunate you cannot govern, you cannot exist, you cannot happen in that land. So we are really calling on you and whoever. Thank you for so many people who have been reaching out to me to get them to their LGAs and their counties. I am pleading that please, if you are reaching out to me because you want to be put to your county, we plead that you are coming in because you want to come and contribute money. Do that. I am still very ready. Call me at any time and tell me you need to locate your county, not only Donga Manto, but all sons and daughters of Donga Manto. I am here, and I'm here for the rest of Amazonia. Don't stay with money and say you don't know where to keep it. Call me if you cannot try to succeed to use any of the payment platforms there. Call me, call Secretary Chris, call Kemi Ashu, call Lady Casey. Your money will surely go through one of us, and you get feedback. So please don't keep money. Don't stay somewhere and think that you don't know where to go to. There's much to do, and we need all hands on deck. Thank you.
Comrade Manjong, please.
Yeah, my appeal will be the same like that of Comfort. And I just want my people, including the people of the world, to think of those children, those innocent children, because there are more innocent children that need to be protected. Maybe if yesterday we were asleep and it resulted into this, now we are aware that there is evil out there. And now that we are aware there is evil out there, we have to band together to fight against that evil and protect, especially our innocent ones. So if people are not thinking about the grown-up who independently could think to go one way or the other, please be moved by those young ones who were in the majority of this atrocity that was committed not by bandits, not by just any evil person, but by a people, by a government that claims to be their government and that claims to be the government that is supposed to protect them. So there's evil out there. If anybody was a doubting Thomas, now you know that there is evil out there. And if you think that playing nice to that government is what is going to save you, who has not watched what Donga Mandu has been doing? The pictures that have been coming there, they were playing nice. They were playing nice. And what did they end up? What was the gratitude for this niceness? The gratitude was Ngarbu. So, you know what we are dealing with. Come to the aid of those people who are sacrificing their lives to minimize the evil that this evil can work or can unleash on our people.
Thank you, both of you, very, very much for coming up to discuss this unfortunate situation up in Ndonga Mantung. Fellow Ambazonians, the ball is in our court to stand again with the people of Ndonga Mantung. We can never get tired giving, not until we have arrived Boya. So please again, I really need some generous Ambazonians out there who have this revolution at heart to reach out to this community, Ndonga Mantung community, to give them your widow's mite. If you cannot give it today, you cannot give it now. Again, you have payment information right there on your screen. Go ahead, copy it down, and maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, maybe when you get your next paycheck, you can make a generous donation to the people of Ndonga Mantung. Let us support them. Let us do it. It is our duty. Comrade Manjong, Comfort, was great to have you here. I hope you have a great night, and I hope that you guys continue to strategize on how to take care of Ndonga Mantung and those elites who are trying to mess up the place and mess up the revolution. We cannot tolerate them anywhere in Ambazonia. They are enablers. They are the one causing these deaths. And I hope that in Nkambe people will step out and make that decision. Something like the Bui people did yesterday for the Bui warriors. I hope that Ndonga Mantung people, their eyes will open and they will step out and say to those CPDM buffooneries, so-called elites, that they can no longer set foot on Ndonga Mantung, seeing what has happened, taken place in that county. I hope in Nkambe people rise up, and all the Ndu people rise up, and so on, and they deal with these elites. They don't deserve citizenship anymore in Ndonga Mantung. Again, thank you for coming on. Let's see what happened. If need be, we will come back to discuss this subject again. But I have asked the chairman who was here last time, Ndonga Mantung need to organize and do more fundraisers. TV is not enough for fundraisers. Zoom is not enough for fundraisers. When people come together, there is much more motivation. I hope that Ndonga Mantung community in Europe, in the US, in Asia, even on ground zero, they will come together, put money into their county for this revolution. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to have you. You have a good night, sir and ma'am.
Thank you, Secretary Chris.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is what I had for you today. Again, before I go, let me remind you, support Ndonga Mantung. Support Ndonga Mantung. And let me just also add that for La République du Cameroon, we hear you announcing your Cup of Nations and CAF making draws to bring your Cup of Nations to Victoria, to Boya, to Southern Cameroon. Sirs, that is not going to happen. You don't take your Cup of Nations to a foreign country to host. Ambazonia is not Cameroon. No Cup of Nations. No Cup of Nations. No competition whatsoever organized by French Cameroon shall be taking place in Ambazonia. And your event of April, I think April 4th, is it to 21 or so, African Cup of Nations will not take place. Again, it will not take place in Ambazonia. You can rest assured. You better take it somewhere. Take it to your western province. Take it to, or you can host, or you can take it to the north. Take it anywhere you want to, but Ambazonia. That is our resolve. I shall be coming back to talk about this one of these days. For now, I want to bid all of you farewell and a very, very, very good night.
Stand by me and pray with me. I can't do this on my own. Walk with me, talk with me. Don't you leave me all alone. Stand by me and stay with me, 'cause I can't do this on my own. I've been out. I've seen things no one should see, but I knew one day, come what may, that I'd sing a song of hope. Said I've been down and I've been out, and I've seen things no one should see, but I knew one day, come what may, that I'll sing a song of hope. Walk with me, talk with me, Don't you leave me all alone. Stand by me, stay with me. I can't do this on my own. Na 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 na.
joy had been too brief. The threat of death posed by weapons made you leave your own possessions. But do not sink, you need to float. In times of need, I'll be your boat. Let's stand together, you and me, address the needs of refugees.
Walk with me, talk with me. Don't you leave me all alone. Stand by me, pray with me. I can't do this on my own. Walk with me, talk with me. Don't you leave me all alone. Don't you leave me all alone. Stand by me and pray with me. I can't do this on my own. I can't do this on my own. I need you. I need you. No, 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 no. Stand, pray. No. I can't do this on my own.
Listen carefully. Chinese are ruling the Chinese land. Japan is ruled by Japanese. England is governed by Englishmen. America is governed by Americans. So Africa must be ruled by Africans. I wanna know the land. We must rule from Cape to Cairo. We must rule our purpose land. I say, we want to know who owns the land. I want to know who owns the land. Mozambique want to know the land. Namibia want to know the land. I say, Soweto want to know the land. Zimbabwe want to know the land. African freedom fighters want to know the land. Papa's land. Alright. Now listen to the history. We've been here since creation. We've been here since creation. What else do you want to know? Since the time of sun and sand. Since the time of moon and stars. Since the time of air and seas. Since the time of men and things. We must run from head to guide. Oh, I said, must move our Papa's land. Papa's land. Oh, okay now I want to talk to my people. Iradanira, oh, I will know. Yeah, Iradanira, oh, I will know. Now we are the crossroads. On the Femo, double up. Bill Sarova Daneta. On the Femo, double up. Opalimu Yagura Baba. Yeah, Opalimu Jasu Yalaka. Yeah, Opalimu Zizanya Vetonye. Oh,